today a subscriber of mine sent me the stats of his F1 Manager's career mode for the entire 10 seasons of that game, and today I'm going to be adding it into a simulation for you guys. Who do you guys think will come out on top? Will it still be Mercedes, Red Bull, and Ferrari dominating the sport, or will teams like Williams, Alpine, and Aston Martin take over? My name's Chris, welcome back to CFRacing, and enjoy the video. Hey everybody, what's going on? Chris here, otherwise known as CFRacing, and like I said in the intro, a subscriber of mine in my Discord DMs named Maugan sent me his files for, or not his files, his stats for an entire 10 years of F1 Manager that he's been playing through pretty much since the game launched. It takes a long time to get through F1 Manager if you're really trying to do everything in detail. So yeah, he sent me all the stats, pretty much the champions, the driver transfers, all the regulation changes, constructors, and everything like that. So I decided to throw this into a simulation. And if you guys want to send me your files or your stats for your saves, let me know. Just send them to my Discord. Send them to my Discord, or at me on my Twitter or something. You guys can definitely send it there. I'll try to make a video on them, and I'll give you guys a little cash back too. So with that being said, guys, enjoy the simulation. Join the Discord, by the way. We have almost 1,300 members, I believe. Yeah, we got 1,234. Season starting soon, so we're trying to get up to 1,500 by the end of the year. And with that being said, guys, enjoy the video. In 2023, no surprise, but Max Verstappen comes out on top, but he was nowhere near as dominant this season as he only took 11 wins, still scored 449 points, and finished P1. Sergio Perez finished P2 with 2 wins, actually. Wow, 329 points. Alonso took 4 wins, 309 points to finish P3. Charles Leclerc take 4 wins, 288 points to finish P4. Lance Stroll takes his first ever Formula 1 win. Gotta love the Canadian here. What a goat. 254 points to finish P5. Carlos Sainz, 188 points to finish P6. Gasly took 120 points. I don't know why I put 12 to finish P7. Hamilton took 1 win, 115 points to finish P8. Ocon, 89 points to finish P9. And George Russell had quite a bad season. He scored 82 points to finish P10. Red Bull win the Constructors title, no surprise, with Aston Martin actually in P2. They were carried by Alonso. Not Charles Leclerc, but he was there. Ferrari finished P3. Alpine was 4th. Mercedes was 5th. Haas actually were in P6, not bad for them. Williams was 7th. McLaren, yikes, was down into P8. AlphaTauri, or now Racing Bulls, was P9, and I decided to use the stake graphic because they're going to be stake for the rest of this video. They finish in dead last. In the driver transfer market, Logan Sargent ends up as a free agent. He gets dropped, unlike in real life. Zhou goes to Williams. Nick DeVries goes to stake. Daniel Ricciardo goes to AlphaTauri. Esteban Ocon goes to McLaren, and Oscar Piastri goes back to Alpine. Wow. And heading into 2024, there's a regulation change to everything, about a 5% change, which is pretty exciting. In 2024, Max Verstappen comes out on top once again, but it was actually a pretty close title fight to Sergio Perez, which I think we all can agree is not going to happen this year. Verstappen takes 9 wins on the year, 373 points to finish P1. Perez takes 7 wins, 349 points to finish P2. Lance Stroll took 5 wins, 294 points to finish P3, and he finished ahead of Alonso. What's going on here? Charles Leclerc takes 1 win, 266 points to finish P4. Alonso takes 1 win, 265 points to finish P5. George Russell, 188 points to finish P6. Gasly, 150 points to finish P7. Carlos Sainz, 142 points. He's getting destroyed by Charles Leclerc to finish P8. Hamilton takes 58 points to finish P9, and Albon scores 57 points in the Williams actually to finish P10. Red Bull win their 2nd consecutive Constructors title, followed by Aston Martin in P2 and Ferrari in P3. Mercedes move up to 4th. Alpine go down to 5th. Williams move up to 6th, McLaren move up to 7th, Haas drop down to 8th, Stake finish in P9, and this is going to be a recurring theme, AlphaTauri, they are in dead last. And boy, we got some driver transfers to talk about here. Lewis Hamilton decides to retire from Formula 1. That moves Sergio Perez to Mercedes. That moves Charles Leclerc to Red Bull, and to replace Charles Leclerc at Ferrari, we have George Russell. Esteban Ocon replaces George Russell at Mercedes. That moves Kevin Magnussen to McLaren. Mick Schumacher comes out of free agency. He goes to Haas. Fernando Alonso also retires from Formula 1. That moves Alexander Albon to Aston Martin. Yuki Tsunoda takes Albon's spot at Williams. Logan Sargent comes out of free agency, goes to AlphaTauri. Nico Hülkenberg also retires, but they just promote Zayn Maloney from F2 to Haas. And heading into 2025, there is a regulation change to side pods and chassis, about 20 to 30% change. In 2025, Max Verstappen partnered alongside Charles Leclerc, absolutely dominating the Constructors' Championship, like it's not even close. But Verstappen takes 15 wins, 539 points to finish P1. Charles Leclerc takes 7 wins, 493 points to finish P2. Lance Stroll takes 1 win, well, he's doing really good. 1 win at 243 points to finish P3, and that's all the winners this season, as George Russell takes 210 points to finish P4, Gasly finishes at P5 with 204 points, Albon 202 points to finish P6, Carlos Sainz 187 points to finish P7, Lando Norris 117 points to finish P8, Tsunoda 88 points to finish P9, and Zhou Guanyu 85 points to finish P10. Red Bull, they like almost literally scored like over 1,000 points this season. They were crazy. They scored like 900 points. That's unreal. Aston Martin finished P2 with Ferrari P3, Alpine P4, Williams P5, McLaren P6, Mercedes dropped down to P7 with Perez and Ocon. Big difference between Hamilton and Russell. Haas finished P8, AlphaTauri finished P9, and Stake are in dead last. And in the driver transfer market, Kevin Magnussen goes to free agency, Valtteri Bottas goes to McLaren, and Ayumu Iwasa goes to Stake as a rookie. You love to see it. But we have a major regulation change to everything, about 50 to 70% change to everything, heading into 2026. Kind of interesting because that's actually happening in real life. Regulation change didn't really do much, but Max Verstappen completely dominated. He took 18 wins on the year, with Charles Leclerc as his teammate, by the way. 539 points. I think this is the greatest season of all time, unless he did better than that this year, to finish P1. Charles Leclerc takes 3 wins, 374 points to finish P2. George Russell takes 1 win, 331 points to finish P3. Gasly scores 285 points. He finishes P4. Piastri scores 237 points to finish P5. Carlos Sainz, he did pretty good this season. Not as good as Russell, though. He took 187 points to finish P6. Stroll takes 187 points to finish P7. Albon, 1 win, 134 points to finish P8. That's his first win of his career. Lando Norris takes 54 points to finish P9. And Mick Schumacher actually scoring 43 points in the Haas to finish P10. Red Bull win their 4th consecutive Constructors title, followed by Ferrari P2 and Alpine P3. Aston Martin dropped down to P4, followed by McLaren P5. Haas up to P6. Stake up to P7. Mercedes down to P8. Williams down to P9. And AlphaTauri are in dead last. And in the driver transfer market, Daniel Ricciardo gets kicked from his seat. Nick De Vries, funny enough, goes to AlphaTauri, and Théo Pourchaire goes to Stake. And heading into 2027, there is a regulation change to Aero, about 10 to 30% difference. In 2027, Max Verstappen unfortunately wins again. He's a 5-time champion in this simulation. I swear it'll get better later on. Verstappen takes 7 wins, 360 points to finish P1, with George Russell taking 5 wins, 297 points to finish P2. Piastri takes 1 win, 242 points to finish P3. He had a great season. Charles Leclerc, for some reason, is just not good in F1 Manager. They really underrate him, in my opinion. But also, this was started like months ago. Charles Leclerc takes 2 wins, 237 points to finish P4. Gasly takes 3 wins, 232 points to finish P5. Carlos Sainz takes 3 wins, 230 points to finish P6. Lance Stroll takes 1 win, 216 points to finish P7. Albon takes 1 win, 158 points to finish P8. Yes, that's right. 8 winners in the season. You love to see it. Ocon takes 76 points to finish P9, and Yuki Tsunoda takes 70 points to finish P10. Red Bull win their 5th consecutive Constructors title, followed by Ferrari P2, Alpine P3, Aston Martin P4, Williams P5, Mercedes P6, Haas P7, McLaren P8, Stake in P9, and AlphaTauri in dead last. And in the driver transfer market, Sergio Perez retires. That moves Yuki Tsunoda to Mercedes. Lance Stroll goes to Williams. Lando Norris goes to Aston Martin, finally leaving McLaren because they suck. Mick Schumacher goes to McLaren. Liam Lawson goes to Haas. Valtteri Bottas ends up as a free agent. Nick De Vries also goes to McLaren, and Richard Verschoor as a rookie goes to AlphaTauri. And heading into 2028, there is a 10 to 30% change to the chassis and side pods. In 2026, Oscar Piastri takes his first ever World Drivers' Championship and his first wins, I think, besides last season. Very interesting because Red Bull's still on top, but Piastri takes 8 wins on the year, 407 points. Good for him to finish P1. Max Verstappen takes 8 wins, 378 points to finish P2. George Russell takes 4 wins, 327 points to finish P3. Carlos Sainz takes 1 win, 272 points to finish P4. Charles Leclerc takes 1 win, 268 points to finish P5. And Gasly also takes 1 win, 215 points to finish P6. Lando Norris takes 145 points in his first season at Aston Martin to finish P7. Nick De Vries, Lance Stroll scores 98 points to finish P8. Nick De Vries takes 88 points to finish P9. And Esteban Ocon 68 points to finish P10. Norris absolutely destroyed Albon this season, by the way. Red Bull take their 6th consecutive Constructors title, followed by Alpine P2, Ferrari P3, Aston Martin P4, Williams P5, McLaren P6, Mercedes P7, Stake P8, Haas in P9, and AlphaTauri in dead last. And in 2028, going to 2029, Charles Leclerc goes back to Ferrari. Carlos Sainz goes to Williams. Lance Stroll goes to Zhou Guanyu goes to Mercedes. Esteban Ocon goes to Aston Martin. Lando Norris also goes to Ferrari to partner Charles Leclerc. George Russell goes to Red Bull. Albon heads to free agency. Pierre Gasly goes to Aston Martin, and Isaac Hadjar in 2028 as a rookie goes to Alpine. And heading into 2029, there is a 10 to 30% change to the downforce. In 2029, Oscar Piastri remains on top, but look at this. Alpine have won a Constructors' Championship, but Piastri takes 9 wins, 378 points to finish P1. Max Verstappen takes 7 wins, 344 points to finish P2. George Russell takes 2 wins, 256 points to finish P3. Charles Leclerc has a good season with Ferrari as he takes 236 points and beats Lando Norris to finish P4. Ocon takes 1 win, 227 points to finish P5. Lando Norris, though, for Ferrari, takes 3 wins, 221 points, finishes P6. But doesn't beat Charles Leclerc in the standings. Carlos Sainz takes 135 points to finish P7. Lance Stroll takes 1 win, 131 points to finish P8. Gasly takes 125 points to finish P9. And Zhou Guanyu scores 108 points in the Mercedes to finish P10. Like I said, Alpine win their first Constructors title since like 2006. When they were Renault. Did they even win it that year? I don't even remember. I think they won one with Alonso. Red Bull finished P2, followed by Aston Martin P3, Ferrari P4, Williams P5, Mercedes P6, McLaren P7, Haas P8, Stake P9, and AlphaTauri in dead last. And we actually have some mid-season driver transfers here. And this is why Lando Norris actually got his wins, because mid-season, he swapped to Alpine to replace Hadjar, as Hadjar got let go because he sucks, and Jack Doohan head to Ferrari to replace Lando Norris, and that's why Lando Norris actually took those 3 wins, in case you guys were wondering. I knew he wasn't better than Charles Leclerc. And at the end of the year, and he was in a better team and he didn't even beat him. That's crazy. At the end of the season, Iwasa ends up as a free agent. Jack Crawford, goes to Stake. Lance Stroll ends up as a free agent. He got kicked out of Formula 1. That moves Logan Sargent to Williams, and Isaac Hadjar finds a seat again at AlphaTauri. And heading into 2030, there is no regulation change. And in 2028, Oscar Piastri becomes a 3-time champion of the world as he takes 9 wins, 339 points to finish P1. And man, there was a lot of different winners this season. Lando Norris takes 2 wins, 266 points to finish P3. Porsche takes 2 wins, 255 points to finish P3. Verstappen takes 2 wins, 239 points to finish P4. George Russell takes 2 wins, 214 points to finish P5. Ocon takes 1 win, 178 points to finish P6. Sainz 1 win, 122 points to finish P7. Sargent scores 103 points to finish P8. Schumacher 100 points to finish P9. Charles Leclerc 93 points to finish P10. Also, from 11 to 20, Yuki Tsunoda and Jack Doohan also had a win. They just weren't in the final top 10. And that's crazy. You win a race, you're not even in the top 10 in the driver standings. Like, that's insane. Alpine win their 2nd consecutive Constructors title, followed by Red Bull P2. Stake move up 3 places to finish 6 places, to finish P3. Aston Martin finished P4, Williams P5, Ferrari dropped down to P6, Mercedes dropped down to P7, McLaren are in P8, Haas P9, and AlphaTauri still suck. They are in dead last. And heading into 2031, Ayumu Iwasa ends up as a free agent. That moves Yuki Tsunoda to Williams. Dennis Hauger goes to Mercedes, and Teo Porcher goes to Ferrari. That leaves Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz as free agents heading into 2031. And in 2031, there is a massive regulation change to everything, about a 50 to 70% change. So that'll probably shake up the standings once again. You guys are going to absolutely love this because of that massive regulation change. Yuki Tsunoda ends up winning the World Drivers' Championship in 2031. That's crazy, as he takes 6 wins, 314 points to finish P1. And yes, I'm sure you guys can see all those driver transfers on the side. That's insane. Lando Norris finishes P2, 259 points. Didn't win a race, though. Teo Porcher takes 2 wins, 254 points to finish P3. Piastri takes 1 win, 247 points to finish P4. Logan Sargent in the Williams takes 4 wins, 239 points to finish P5. Zhou Guanyu takes 2 wins, 228 points to finish P6. Mick Schumacher takes 1 win, 148 points to finish P7. Verstappen takes 2 wins, 138 points to finish P8. Russell takes 98 points to finish P9. And Zane Maloney takes 87 points to finish P10. Hauger also took a win, but he didn't finish in the top 10. Williams win their first Constructors' Championship since like 96 or something like that, followed by Alpine in P2 and Ferrari in P3. Mercedes in P4, followed by Red Bull finally dropping down to P5. Haas move up to P6. McLaren are P7. After a great season last year, Stake dropped down to P8. AlphaTauri in P9, and Aston Martin dropped 6 places after the regulation change. They sucked. They're in dead last. And bear with me with these driver transfers because there's a lot. Théo Pourchaire goes to Williams. That moves Logan Sargent to Ferrari. Mick Schumacher also goes to Ferrari. Jack Doohan goes to McLaren. Liam Lawson goes to Mercedes, followed by Esteban Ocon, also going to Mercedes. Zane Maloney goes to Red Bull. Ollie Behrman goes to Haas as a rookie. Gotti, I forget how to pronounce his name, also goes to Haas as a Williams, as a rookie, sorry. Jack Doohan goes to McLaren, followed by Zhou Guanyu, also going to McLaren. Montoya, Juan Pablo Montoya's son, I believe, goes to AlphaTauri. Richard Verschoor goes to Aston Martin. Dennis Hauger goes to Aston Martin. And Max Verstappen, Pierre Gasly, and Nick De Vries all retire, which kick off all of those driver transfers. And heading into the final season of 2032, there is a regulation change to everything, just 5% though, not that much. And in the final season, 2032, Oscar Piastri wins a championship again, 4-time champion of the world, and he beat Lando Norris. That's really funny. Piastri takes 7 wins, 329 points to finish P1. Théo Pourchaire takes 5 wins, 272 points to finish P2. Lando Norris takes 2 wins, 242 points to finish P3. Jack Crawford actually takes 4 wins, 232 points to finish P4. Liam Lawson takes 202 points to finish P5. Yuki Tsunoda takes 175 points to finish P6. Ayumu Iwasa takes 1 win, 144 points to finish P7. George Russell takes 131 points to finish P8. Isaac Hadjar takes 110 points to finish P9. Jack Doohan takes 1 win, 109 points to finish P10. And from 11 to 20th, we have Behrman, Mick Schumacher, and Richard Verschoor all taking a win. And somehow Schumacher and the Ferrari took a win, Behrman and the Haas took a win, and Verschoor and the Aston Martin take a win. They're like 3 of the 4 worst teams. I don't know how they won a race. And in the Constructors' Championship, Alpine win their 3rd Constructors' Championship of the simulation, followed by Williams in P2, and Stake once again, very up and down. They finished P3. Mercedes finished 4th, followed by McLaren in 5th, Red Bull 6th, Aston Martin 7th, AlphaTauri 8th, Ferrari in 9th, and Haas in dead last. And guys, now that the simulation's over, let's take a look at the final stats for all 10 years. And at the end of all 10 years, we only had 3 world champions. Verstappen had 5 championships, Piastri had 4, and Yuki Tsunoda had 1. And in terms of Constructors' Championships, it was even worse. Red Bull had 6, Alpine had 3, and Williams had 1. But in terms of race winners, we had so many, and let's get down to this. Verstappen had 79 wins, Piastri had 35. They both won championships. Charles Leclerc didn't win a championship, but he had 18 wins. Russell had 14, Perez had 9 wins, Stroll had 9 wins, Théo Pourchaire had 9 wins. Yuki Tsunoda had a championship, Lando Norris didn't, and they both had 7 wins. Alonso had 5 wins, Sainz had 5 wins, Gasly had 4, Sargent had 4, Crawford had 4. Now we're going into the 2s here. We got Albon had 2 wins, Ocon had 2 wins, Schumacher had 2 wins, Jack Doohan had 2 wins, and now into the 1s we had Lewis Hamilton, Richard Verschoor, Ollie Behrman, Ayumu Iwasa, and Dennis Hauger. So guys, I hope you guys did enjoy this simulation. If you want to send your 10 years of F1 Manager, or even my team, just record all the stats that I use in the videos. You guys can see the videos, see what I use. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.